Hi, welcome back to my little series on the Jeti gyro menus. This is episode 3, and we're going to look at the use of flight modes with the gyro menus. Now, obviously we can change the global to separates, and I've set up 3 little flight modes on this already, 1, 2 and default. And if we just left our previous switch in, we'd get all of those in the different flight modes as well. It starts getting a bit complicated because then you possibly got, say, 3 flight modes, 3 switch positions, 9 possible settings, and I think you'll lose control of it, or at least control of what you think's going on in the system. So what we'll do is remove this switch first of all from the gyro function assignment. So come out of here, back into model, function assignment, gyro sends 1, SE clear, OK. Right, back to our gyro menus. So here we go, it's locked in position 2 now, 0% output, no tuning knob, and 0 there. So it's effectively locked itself into what was the mid-switch position, which was everything off. What we can do now is change it to separate. And therefore, although the switch, which was any of these switches, is locked in place, as it were, this row here of settings now becomes a fresh one for each flight mode. Let's prove it. We're in flight mode 1. And let's choose some sort of basic value. We'll say 30%. The tuning knob in flight mode 1 will be P8. OK. And I'll give P8, we'll give it 30 percentage points to play with. So P8 should be able to swing it anywhere from 60 to 0, because it's 30 plus or minus 30. Bingo. Right, now, all being well, when I move the flight mode switch to flight mode 2, this line should clear and go back to empties again. Look at that. Yippee-dippee-doo. So, back here we go. Position 2, flight mode 2, sorry, not position 2, flight mode 2. Again, I'll give that 30. Plus or minus 30, but I'm going to give it P7 this time, because we saw in the last video how you can use a different knob for each one. We can do it with the flight modes just as we did with the position switch. And we'll give it 30 to play with. Again. Now, if I swing P8, nothing should happen. But if I swing P7, there we go. And finally, in default flight mode, I'm going to give it once again 30 to play with. Tuning knob this time is going to be P5, which is the slider over on the right hand side. Say OK to that, and again I'll give it a total of 30 to play around with. Now, how has P5 gone? Yeah, not the way I want it to work. I've got, if we look at this, we've got maximum gain. P5 is in the up position, and in the down position, or away from me position, we've got no gain. I don't want that. I want it to be no gain there. How do I get that? Very simply, we reverse P5, go into here, say reverse, say OK. Lovely. Now, moved away from me, oops daisy, maximum gain, pull it towards me, gain 0. Lovely. So now I have completely independent gains in each flight mode. So I can, let's say, fly around at the landing flap, tune it with P8, get the gain I want. See there. I can go to, for instance, takeoff flap, fly it around, tune it with P7. I was turning P8 again there. So this is a problem. If it's difficult enough on the bench to remember what you're doing, and you easily get yourself confused, imagine what it's like in the air. So you've got to take care over these things. It's very easy to end up making things far too complex. When you're flying through the air and something goes wrong, you're going to get yourself right confused when you've only got a second or two to save the model. So please don't think that you have to set up a model all these complicated ways. Keep it simple. And anyway, into the default flight mode, and I can tune with P5. And therefore, after we've landed, we can go ahead and lock the values in, and I showed you how to in episode 2. But now you've got all 3 flight modes with completely independent tuning of the gain. Lovely. Very helpful. That's quite decent, actually. What about this GyroSense 2 and GyroSense 3? You can do with them exactly what you do up here, but I've already used P8, 7 and 5 in my 3 flight modes here. What am I going to use in these gyros? Let's say, just for sake of argument, we'd set this one in our Jeti assist to be the aileron gain, elevator gain, rudder gain. If you're using a gyro that only has one overall gain control, such as an iGyro or a Cortex, then this would be the one you would use. You just have to use one channel for all your gains, but at least you can use 3 independent knobs to tune your flight modes. But if you want to fly your assist and tune all 3 axes independently in the one go, then obviously you're going to want to use, say, P8, P7, P5, for example, which means you can't use P7 and P5 also to do your flight modes. But, just how much do you want to try and tune your gyro to the absolute nth degree all in one flight? Does it really matter? No, it doesn't. To be honest, you get near enough as long as you've not got the oscillations. Your gyro's good. But I'm quite liking some of the options in here just to peak tune the gyro for some different points. Okie doke. So that's it with flight modes and the gyro settings. We're going to come back for one more episode and deal with using this with the Jeti Assist, because there is a problem using this software with the Jeti Assist, and we'll look at that in episode 4. See you then.